We are going to share ideas about this question. This is question 5 of March 2021. A, they are telling us using Modigliani and Miller, a theory to dividend policy, you discuss the validity of the CFO's view on distribution of dividends. You have how many marks? You have 12 marks. What are we given? We are told that Beaver Electronics Limited, but you guys can hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So they are telling us that Beaver Electronics Limited is a listed company that deals in importation and distribution of electronics in central Uganda. BEL's cost of capital is 20% per annum. You have the cost of capital, and the entity is listed with 20,000 shares of a par value of shillings 10,000. You have a par value of 10,000. You have a par value. But currently trading at a premium of 12.5%. Why are you given this? You're given this to determine the market price, currently trading at a premium of 12.5%. So when it is at a premium, you increase the par value by this percentage to get the market price. BEL is considering declaration and payment of a dividend of shillings 5,500 per share. Is considering, this is a dividend which is not yet paid. This company is just considering a declaration and payment of a dividend of shillings 500 per share at the end of the current year. So what's this in your mind? What comes into your mind? Is this D0 or D1? D1 is only that dividend which has not yet been paid. Then D1 is that dividend that has just been paid. So because this is a dividend that is not yet paid, so this means that this 500 is your D1, isn't it, colleagues? This 500 is your D1, the dividend that has not been paid. Is going to be paid at a future time, that is at the end of the current year. Because the company expects to generate after tax profits. So here you have the earnings after tax, which is 25 million. Okay. The head of investments at BEL has revealed that the company also has a number of viable investment proposals that require funding worth shillings 40 million as part of the company's 5-year strategic plan. So you see, this company, the head of investments at this company, has actually revealed that the company has a number of viable investment proposals. When they say viable investment proposals, it means that probably when they invest in that project, they are going to earn what? They are going to earn more profit, and that will increase the shareholders' wealth. Okay, all right. He is of the view that BEL should suspend paying dividends. That is the head of investments at this company. He is of the view that BEL should suspend paying what? Dividends, and use all earnings to undertake these viable investments so as to increase the value of the company. The company's chief finance officer, however, does not agree with his colleague, as he holds a view that the value of any company is not affected by what? By the distribution of dividends. Are you seeing that? When you read this statement alone, what comes into your mind? Okay, he's suggesting that the distribution of dividend does not actually affect, even if we distribute the dividends, even if we don't, it has nothing to do with the value of the company, because his view is that the value of any company is not affected by the what? By the distribution of dividends. And that is what also M&M said. How can we use now this M&M theory to discuss the validity of the CFO on the view of distribution of dividends? Here you cannot discuss the validity. Now here I know that people may have misfired maybe by just listing the assumptions, but here you are supposed to compute. You are supposed to compute. And we have the steps that we follow as we answer this question. We have the steps that we follow. Please master these steps. Please master these steps. Please master them. Step number one. Step number one. Step number one, you need to determine the expected share price. The expected share price. That is step number one, whereby you're going to get P1 is equal to a P subscript, or that is P naught, then into 1 plus KE. Then what you get, you subtract the D1. What is the P1? Where P1 is the expected share price. Then P naught is the current market price. Then D1 is the expected dividend per share. The expected dividend per share. The expected dividend to be paid at a future time. So it means that in this question, we have D1, because they gave us D1 as 500 per share. You saw that, eh? You saw that. I believe you saw that. Here, this 500. The BEL is considering declaration and the payment of a dividend of shillings 500 per share at the end of the year. If it is not given, maybe if at all they gave us, if at all in the question we had the D naught, always know that D1 is equal to what? Is equal to D naught into 1 plus G. In a scenario where there is growth in a dividend, G is just the growth, the dividend growth rate, the dividend growth rate. Then D naught here would be the dividend that has just been paid. That is D naught. So if at all you're given D naught, you need to go ahead and get your D1, because in the formula we use D1. We use D1. Okay, so please master this. All right, then of course here we can substitute. Do we have P naught? P naught. Do we have P naught in the question? Do we have the current market price? Are we given the current market price? Currently shares are trading at how much? Currently, the shares are trading at a premium of 12.5%. So you get, if you're given that, it means that I'm going to get the par value. I get the par value of 10,000. I increase the par value by the premium. If it is a discount, you reduce the par value by that discount, but the premium increases the value. So you will get now your P naught as the par value times the increase. Which is the same as 10,000 times 1.125. Are we together, guys? What do you get? When you multiply, what do you get?
11,250.
You get 11 what? 11 250. Now this is I want you to pick from me that as you do this, you look at two sides. If dividend is paid, if dividend is not paid, what will be the impact? What will be the market price? So I can have like something like here in a net. If dividend is paid and if dividend is not paid. If dividend is paid, it means that dividend will be D1 will be what? Dividend D1 will be 500. And if dividend is not paid, it means that D1 will be what? Will be 0. So substitute in the formula. Substitute in this formula. Substitute in this formula. You substitute. What will be your expected? Your expected market price will be P naught, which is 100,000 to 250. Then times 1 plus. Do you have KE? Do you have KE? KE is the cost of capital. Are we given a cost of capital? Yes, 20%. So you multiply by 0.2. Then minus 500. What do you get as your P1?
10,000.
This is 11,250 times 1.2 minus this. This is 13,000. Then here, what will be your P? Your P1, substitute in the formula. You don't need to again state the formula, just putting for illustration. So here, if your P1 will be, P naught is this, then times I can simply say 1.02, 1 plus 0.2, then minus 0, because D1 is 0. So what do you get here? P1 will be equal to what? 11,250 times 1.2. I get 13,500. That's what I have. Confirm whether it's the same figure. So that is step 1. Please master the steps. That is step 1. We go to step number 2. Step 2, you determine the additional shares. Step 2, determine the additional shares. And how do you get the additional shares? Your shares will be equal to the investments you're going to make, the I minus what? Minus the what we call the R times D1. The R is the number of existing shares. Okay. Then everything you get. So here you can close bracket. Everything you get, you divide by. Everything you get, you divide by. You divide by the P1. So you see, you cannot get this when you don't have P1. So I am saying that where the I is the total investment. Okay. Then E is the earnings after tax. Then R is the number of existing shares. Then P1, I believe you know the expected share price. So substitute still in your formula. Substitute in your formula, and also look at two sides. If dividend is paid, that is if dividend is paid, and also if dividend is not paid. So you have to look at two sides as you do this. Okay, we want to see whether there is implication at the end. Does it matter? Okay, so let's substitute because we have everything. What is S? Your additional shares will be substituting the formula. Do you have the total investment? Yes. In the question, how much is this company going to invest? They say that the total investments, okay. They say that the viable investment proposals require funding worth 40 million. So that is what you expect to invest. So where there is I, put 40 million minus the profit after tax. Do you have the profit after tax or the earnings after tax? Yes, we have the earnings after tax, which is 25. We have the 25 million. Substitute where there is E, put 25 million. Then minus R. R, we say that is the number of existing shares. existing shares, how many shares are existing? Currently, how many shares? We have 20,000 shares. These are the shares. So substitute here at 20,000 shares. Remember, this is the first bracket. I put this, then here I get the 20,000 times the D1. This is capital D1, capital D1, the dividend that is yet to be paid, which we saw that it is what? We saw that it is what? We saw that it is 500. So everything divided by what? By what we have computed in step 1. So that was 13,000. Tell me, what do you have here? These are shares. These are shares. Put some speed, the calculator, and learn how to use the calculator. You can first deal with this. You can first deal with this. The 20,000, then times 500. Then in the answer, when your answer is still there, get 25 million minus answer. Okay, you will have negative something. So I get 40 million. 40 million minus answer. I get 11.5 million divided by 13,000. I don't know, what do you have on your calculator? Someone tell me what you have on your calculator. At 20,000 times 500, 25,000 minus answer, I get 15. 40 minus answer, you get 25,000 divided by 13. So this is what I have as my number of shares, 1923 as shares. I believe that's what you have. If you have used your calculator very well, I believe that's what you have. Please use your calculators. Otherwise, things may not go well when you are alone. So it's high time you start using your calculator. What if I have said that they have, examiner has asked this only once. He can bring it at any time, can bring it back. So here, if dividend is not paid, still substitute. It will be 40 million minus, I open bracket, 25 million minus, I open bracket here at 20,000, but times what? Times 0, because here there is no dividend paid. So I say times 0. Then everything I divide by what was our P1 when dividend is not paid. Our P1, if dividend is not paid, our P1 is this. Don't mix it. So here it is 13,500. So your S will be at 20,000 times 0, that is 0. So you will get 40 million minus 25 million. I get 15 divided by 13,500. So I have 111 as my shares, 1,111 shares. That is step number 2. Then step number 3, Step 3. Step 3, you get total number of shares. How do you get total number of shares? These ones will be the existing shares, plus the additional shares. You do still that for if dividend is paid, if dividend is paid, and also if dividend is not paid, if dividend is not paid. So you simply add total shares, total number of shares will be, initially they were 20,000 plus here 1923. So the total number of shares here will be what? Will be 21,923 shares. Then if dividend is paid, rather if dividend is not paid, they will be how many? They will be here, the total number of shares. Here the total number of shares will be, initially they were 20,000 plus 1111 shares. So you will be in a position to get, here you will be in a position to get 21,111 shares. That is step number 3. Then step number 4, the last one, Step 4. Step 4, now determine the value of the firm. See whether indeed this firm is BEL. Determine whether indeed the payment of share has an impact. Does it have an impact or not? The payment of dividend. Here we are trying to determine that the payment of dividend has an impact on this. Does it have an impact on the value of the firm or not? Does the payment of dividend have an impact on the value of the firm or not? Okay, so here, how do you get this? The value of the firm will be equal to the formula here. You get RP1. RP1 is, R is your total shares. So RP1 minus the total investment plus the earnings per share. Okay, so here you can put in bracket R, capital R, the total what? The total number of shares. So you get that, then divide by, and in your mind, don't start saying that, these steps, these formulas. No, you still have time, you can master. When you put in your mind that now the thing is becoming hard, it is not good. You still have time, you can master, because these steps don't change. It's not like tax law that is going to be amended. So substitute just in your formula. Where there is R, put the total number of shares. Total number of shares is 21,923 times what is expected market price. It was 13,000. Then minus total investment, it was 40 million. Let me just say M, but in an exam, put the figure. Don't say M. Put the zeros. Then plus the earnings after tax. What was our earnings after tax? Our earnings after tax, 25 million. Then everything we divide by what? Everything we divide by 1 plus KE, that is cost of capital 0.2, that is 20%. So on your calculator, what do you get? Substitute and tell me what do you get on your calculator. Follow the way you see, open bracket, say 21,923 times 13,000, close bracket, minus 40 million, put the zeros. Very well. Some of you may end up forgetting one of the zeros. Then plus 25, put all the zeros, 6 zeros. Then the answer you get divided by 1.2. You can keep your answers in million. So roughly in millions, that will be shillings 225 million. If you keep your answers in million, that will be the final answer. What about this side? It should give you the same answer. If you realize that you have a different answer, that here, if you realize that you have different answer, know that you're wrong. This is if dividend is paid. Now, if dividend is not paid, what will happen here? What will be the total value of the farm? Substitute in the formula. So here, total shares, you use these ones. The R, the capital R, you're substituting in this formula. So capital R will be 21,111 times what was our market price? Our market price was 13,500. Okay. Then minus I, which is 40 million. Plus earnings after tax, that is 25. Then the answer you get, divide it by 1 plus what? Divide it by 1 plus R. Do you get the same answer? If you get the same answer, know that you're correct. Please, on your calculator, make sure that you put zeros. Don't just say 40. No. If you don't put the 40 million on your calculator, you will not get the correct answer. Make sure that you put all the zeros. Then at the end, you can now put your answers in a million. You will have the same answer, I believe. You will have the same answer. So you see that if you pay the dividend, the value will be this. If you don't pay the dividend, still the value will be this. That's why M&M say that, you see, from my analysis, it doesn't matter whether you pay the dividend or not. The value of the farm will remain the same. So dividend does not affect the value of the farm. That is what M&M says, that the dividend, the distribution of the dividend does not really affect the value of the farm. And you can see that. Take the conclusion. Was the CEO correct or wrong? Here, based on the analysis, based on the analysis above, the value of BEL is shillings 225 million. Whether the dividend, whether the dividend is paid, whether the dividend is paid or not. Okay, this validates the CEO, the CFO's view that the value of the firm does not depend on the distribution of a dividend. That's what you are supposed to do, and you score your marks. You score your marks. Any question? Any question, guys?
Me, I'm fine. I don't know the rest.
Try to master these steps. Try to master these steps, like keep on practicing. When you wait towards the exam, it's hard. You may try to cram, then you reach in an exam, you forget. So it's better you try to master these formulas when it is still early, because these formulas are not given in an exam. You see there are steps, and each step you are applying a different formula. So try just to master them as early as possible. But these ones, we have already discussed them. I don't need to repeat the traditional school of thought. But maybe in your free time, open the guide, the theory, that guide that I sent that has only theory. Open the guide and read through to confirm, just to remind yourself. Okay, that's enough.